Welcome to Dude That's Fucked Up. This is episode 2.
Woo.
Yeah. We really jumped into it in our first episode. My name's Erin.
My name's Nicole.
We realized after listening to our own podcast like 10 times that we just didn't really talk about ourselves at all or how we know each other, anything.
Yeah, there's no background about like why we wanted to do this or how we came to do this.
Well, we basically want to do this because we just like talking to each other, and we decided to have a more structured way to do it.
It's like forcing us to hang out.
Yeah, because we live so far away from each other.
Yeah, it's forcing us to hang out via FaceTime because I live on the West Coast and you live on the East Coast.
Yeah, I live in DC, and it's crazy here now, and I need to have an outlet for myself to get away from the actual weird world.
And everyone needs an outlet. And if we can help them by talking about farts or like burned up people and like the legs they leave behind.
That's right.
Then why not?
That's right. I listen to a lot of political podcasts. So it's like my head is always in the weeds on all that. So it's good to get away from it and talk about fucked up shit that's not
political
and affecting people's lives in a horrible way. But it does sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What we're going to talk about today affects people's lives in a weird way.
Yeah. Some of it is really sad.
Yeah. It's gross.
I tried not to focus on that. I tried to focus on some of the less sad stuff.
So what are we talking about here today?
Okay. Well, before we dive right into it, I'm gonna I guess give you guys a little behind the scenes of a personal experience I've had with this week's topic, which is horrifying.
I am so excited to hear this. Okay. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know. Yeah, it was like a little while ago. I lived in New York City for a while, and I feel like it was hard living. I did a lot of going out at night after work and then being hungover at work the next day, and it was just like a thing. Like, I don't know. I started every time I'd go out and have like a hard night of drinking the next day, I would have a really hard time like with my stomach, and like I would have instances where I'd be eating and then all of a sudden I would feel like I really have to go to the bathroom, like urgent, urgent. And like eat to the point
and you're like, is this because I'm hungover, or is this because everybody has like the next day horrible stomach issues, like and so you like, how would you think anything else is going on?
Well, and it was like to the point where like while I'm still eating,
Jesus,
it just like went whoop right through, and I'd be like, oh no, and I developed a system with Pete where I'd be like, it's an emergency, we need to leave now, and it's like, what DEFCON level is it at?
Oh man, I remember actually coming to visit you, many years ago when you were living there, and you're like, oh, I got to make sure I have my like Pepto with me, and I'm like, man, you're like my mom. No offense to my mom, like, but you know what I mean.
But she's like 20 years older.
Yeah, and
30 years older.
It's just one of those things that like you're like, unless you've had stomach issues, you're not like, oh, I need to have Pepto with me at all times. So there's something going on.
Yeah. Well, and then it wasn't even just that. It was like when I would eat sushi, like there were like certain foods I would eat, but when I would eat sushi, it would happen too, even if I wasn't hungover, and I was like, something's like wrong in there. And so I thought I had like IBS or something. Like I was like, oh, it's just like a simple case of IBS. Everybody has this. But I think that has also other symptoms, not just diarrhea. Yeah. Like instant diarrhea. Yeah. So it's like, oh, you get bloated and gassy and all these other things. And so I was like, oh, I don't know. And then So this went on for like a year. Like I just didn't really know what it was, but I didn't think I was like sick really. I wasn't sure. And then I think the final straw was, well, Pete was starting to get sick of it. Like he thought I was like, it was all in my mind.
Oh no.
We got into like a huge fight.
That does happen where you're like, you get so anxious about it that it's like your mind and your brain and your stomach are very connected. So
yeah,
I mean, that does happen, but like, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
Like every single time.
Well, we were at this music festival. I don't think they do it anymore, but it was called All Points West. And it was on like Governor's Island, maybe. In New York. And Jay-Z was performing. Like I think he took the place of the Beastie Boys because that one was sick.
Oh, yeah.
And so like Pete was super excited and we were there and I guess I must have been hungover or I was drinking while we were there and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God. So I had to have like diarrhea in a porta potty.
Oh boy.
Like, we need to leave right now. Like I was just like mortified. And so he's like, like you're making this up. It's all in your head. You need to just like deal with it. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm not doing this on purpose. But I think because he was like very sad that he missed Jay-Z performing. Yeah. And so like I called the doctor and I went in to see a specialist, like a gastroenterologist, and they did a colonoscopy and they didn't really see anything that abnormal. And then they did an endoscopy. Oh God, before I had to do those things, I had to do a stool sample.
Jesus, how do you do that? Do you like fish it out of the toilet or do you like poop into something?
Oh my God.
Please explain. Because I didn't even have to do this when I had my intestinal issues, but mine weren't actual intestinal issues, but it ended up.
This is going to make me gag maybe, but.
No, I want to know.
Which is my own poop. So like it should be fine, but like.
And like we need to be okay with this stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is our human body. This is how it functions. You know,
well,
people need to be more comfortable.
Yeah. Well,
it's okay. You can't gross me out. I've had the limit of stuff. So
true. Okay. Well, so what you have to do is you can't poop in the toilet because like that could contaminate the sample, like the water and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. So you have to poop in a receptacle, which for me was our trash can that we had in the bathroom. But I put like a trash bag in it. And then you just like, I think I sat on the toilet until I was like ready to go. And then I just quickly moved onto the trash can. The like little trash can. Yeah.
Oh and then my God. And it's all short and it's like your knees are to your ears. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Which is actually probably good because it's like squatty potty type.
Oh,
thing.
I have a squatty potty.
Oh yeah. So it puts you in that position. So anyway, then you had to get like this little tool they give you and you like scrape some off and put it in the little test tube. And then I had to fucking take my own shit out to the garbage like a dog.
Dude, I've done that before. Because
it was in a bag.
I had my things going on. I was like, when I changed, we can talk about this later, but yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
You're in good company.
Yeah. It was. I only had to do it the once. So,
then what happened?
Oh, so then you take it in a brown bag to like the lab and drop it off. I had to take it like in a cab or something. I'm like, oh, don't look back here. It's just me and my doo-doo.
What you carrying there, little girl?
Yeah. Oh, is that your lunch? I'm all, no.
Nope.
Don't open the bag. What if it was like a Freaky Friday or something? My lunch got swapped, or someone's lunch got swapped in my poop, and then they took it into the office. Gross.
Oh, anyway, be awful.
Yeah. Anyway, so they didn't find anything in my stool sample, so that was all for naught. And then
better safe than sorry, though.
Yeah. Well, and then I did the colonoscopy and the endoscopy. They didn't really find much. Or they must have found like, I guess, something. I don't remember them telling me about it. But then they're just like, oh, you have like, I think like a parasite in your stomach, and it like really is reacting when you're like drinking too much and or eating sushi, which has its own like, its own special
enzymes,
bacteria. Yeah. So it would like whatever I had would go crazy when I ate that or whatever. And so
Whoa.
they just gave me hardcore antibiotics for 10 days and it was gone.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But I never saw anything in there. Oh, which brings us to our topic, which is parasitic worms.
Yep.
So yeah,
specifically in humans.
In humans, yeah.
Because they're in every mammal.
Yeah, and everybody has bacteria in their stomach, but these, like, I guess the ones we're going to talk about really get to the point where things go a little haywire and you have like gross experiences or symptoms or
get out of control. Because it is kind of a benign thing if you don't know what's going on. And again, it's something where we kind of don't want to talk about it. We don't want to go to the doctor for it because it's gross and we're like, you know, what's going on with me? But you better check yourself because it can be a parasite.
I feel like these types of experiences, like what you have recently gone through and like this a little bit for me, has made me so much, like I'm so much more open with my doctors now.
Yes.
Like it's like, I don't mind going and being like, yeah, like I'm having this weird problem down on my butthole or like whatever the problem is. And like, yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of diarrhea with these and like butt problems. So you just have to be cool going to your doctor and trusting them and talking it through so they can figure it out and give you antibiotics and then you're fine. Yeah.
My experience was, obviously you know this, but for the listeners, I had endometriosis and I had it so bad that it was like in places it shouldn't be. Endometriosis is when uterine tissue grows out of control and gets in places that it grows in places it shouldn't. So for me, mine was inside my bladder and it was in my rectum. So they had to remove a portion of my rectum. I had stitches inside of my vagina. In my bladder, they like removed a chunk of my bladder. So I was like in a bad way, but I had to have an ileostomy because of the chunk they removed. So which is an ileostomy is when basically they pull a portion of your small intestine outside of your body and you shit into a bag. Basically, I'd say it's a step up from a colonoscopy. Or not a colonoscopy, sorry. Colonoscopy is when they check your butthole and your intestines through your butthole.
Through the butthole, yeah.
Which I had. And it was actually pretty chill.
I was out for mine.
Me too. It was delightful. I woke up. I was, I think I started singing Drake when I woke up. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was one of those, it could have been a video on YouTube, but nobody was there. So,
oh my God.
The nurse.
I did something similar. I guess as I was going out, I was talking about what a great karaoke singer I was. And when I woke up, they're like, oh, so you like karaoke? I'm like, yeah, I guess. Why? They're like, you were just raving about your own performances.
About your abilities, yeah.
I was like,
oh, God.
Yeah, okay.
That's not embarrassing. No. You're like more embarrassed of that than the fact that they were just inside of your butthole.
I know. Whatever, once they're in there.
Yeah, like, it's the inside of your body. And it's like, everybody has the same stuff. Like we all have buttholes, unless you don't, which can happen.
That's true.
I found that out when I was researching my own shit. But yeah, so I had an ileostomy for 2 months. I had to like take out bags of shit. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, you had to take out your own shit.
Yeah, and I don't have any problems talking about it now. I mean, it was kind of weird because, well, like, I don't know what people, like, a lot of people don't want to hear about it, and I respect that. If you're listening to this now and you don't want to hear about it, I am sorry. But
it's science.
It's science. And, you know, I've never been more in touch with my body. Mm-hmm. I've never been more aware of, like, my personal health and, like, what I need to do to like take care of myself. So I like you were saying, I have no shame anymore about talking to my doctor about anything that's going on with me. I don't care because, you know, I went through like DJ, my husband and my mom were like taking care of me and they saw me at a really low point in my life. And now I don't give a fuck about anything. Like I am prepared for as much as one can be, I think, for like childbirth and like anything else. And I'm fully prepared to like take care of any of my friends or DJ if any of if something like this ever happens. So I don't care anymore.
It's like squeamish for like a millisecond,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just get over it.
Yeah. When I first woke up from like surgery and stuff, and they like were telling me what was going on, and like the first time they like showed me how to like change a bag, I cried. I was like, I can't do this. This is so fucked. Like, I'm so sad. I'm so like sad about what I have to do. Like what I like, it's gross and it's weird, and I don't. It actually like upset me to like look at my body in that way. So
yeah,
but then you do it, and you do it a few times, and you do get over it. Like, and what really helped me too is like watching these like YouTube videos about people who are like dealing with the like all this stuff, and they like had tips, and some people have it permanently.
Yeah,
and they choose to have it because they have such bad intestinal issues, Crohn's disease and all this stuff. So
yeah,
it was a rough time, but I don't give a shit about anything anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So parasitic worms, though, that is a thing that happens because people ingest the eggs somehow. So I'll just go through like the basics of how you can get it. So their scientific name are Helminths. And when I read this word out loud, I was brought back to childhood when I had a speech impediment, when I couldn't say S's because all I could think about was Hellmann's mayonnaise. And then I'm like, Helminths. And it's just such an awkward word to say. So, yeah.
When I read it, I was like, Helminths.
Like mints from hell. Minth.
These mints are from hell.
It's like that's how I talked. I couldn't say S's. S's.
Well, you can now.
I can now. Thank you, Miss Tisler, if you're out there. She helped me. Anyway.
Miss Tiffler.
What a name for a speech therapist. Like, that's not easy. Thanks for having that crazy name. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, so they're worm-like organisms that live inside of and feed off of a living host, receiving nourishment and protection while disrupting their host's nutrient absorption, causing weakness and disease. So you're pretty lucky. It sounds like your parasitic worm incident it was fucking gross. Like it made you really sick.
I had diarrhea in a lot of places that I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
You want to be home for that.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh my God. It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Now, do you feel like you can just like, I always had such a hard time pooping in public.
Yeah.
And now I don't give a fuck. Like, I can literally probably shit on somebody's driveway if I needed to.
We've had friends who've done that.
Yeah, we have.
No, I still am like, I mean, I don't like pooping at work, maybe is like the one.
Well, that's rude
place.
in a lot of ways.
Well,
if you have to go, obviously, that's fine. But like,
yeah. But like, make it so that you're ready to go. Like, get in there, let it out, leave. Like, I don't want to like spend time in there.
Right.
People come in, you have to be all quiet.
Yeah. We at my old job we had a bathroom that had 2 stalls in it, but I'd always just lock the door so nobody could even come in and go pee if they needed to. I'm such a bitch.
No, that's good.
It was rude. It was really rude. Sorry, guys.
We have like a handicap stall in our work, which is the poop stall, but I refuse to go in there because it's so incriminating. It's like,
right,
oh, you're going into the single stall? Like, what are you doing?
It's like if you're a dude and you go in the stall, it's like everybody knows you're pooping because otherwise you just, belly up to the urinal.
Yeah.
Belly up. Oh, yeah. So parasitic worms can live inside of humans and other animals. And in their adult form, they can't multiply in humans. So that's some good news.
Yeah.
There is a life cycle within, like once they get in your intestines, they usually will enter like in the form of like larva. So it's like eggy, little microscopic eggs, and then they hatch and then they grow inside your intestine and they get in there. It's real gross.
I think that's why like most people don't have symptoms, because it could just like live out its little life and then maybe leave
and then die. Yeah. And then you poop it out.
Yeah.
Maybe. But sometimes they can live for like years inside of you. Years. And depending on the I almost said flavor. I mean, well, let's stick with that. Depending on the flavor, it can grow. They can grow pretty big.
What's the real word that you're trying to do?
I think
species.
Sorry. Oh God. This whole thing is so gross.
It's so gross.
I was, when we were researching it, I just I refused to look at pictures because I know that you were saying you saw some shit.
So because you talk about like the basics and the science and like all the facts and stuff, I tried to look for like really and maybe this was the wrong way to go, but like really gross or like big cases of it, like famous cases of like parasitic worms. And
like the record breakers.
Yeah. And I found an article that was like, it was just like 10 cases of horrifying parasites or whatever, and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. Oh my God. There was a picture of a man, and I could tell because he's like spread out face down on a bed with his like butt up in the air, and I could see his nuts, so I knew it was a dude. And basically it was just a butt full of like so many worms.
Those are pinworms, I found out.
Oh, I thought they were roundworms.
Oh, roundworms. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but whatever. I don't know. It looked like bean sprouts. Like it was like someone shoved a handful of bean sprouts in his butt. And they were like, deal with it.
Oh, I can't believe that you were able to view that picture.
Yeah. Well, it was just like in an article. So
did they give you the not safe for work tag?
I don't think so, but I was at
That's
home.
Rude. That's real rude.
They
need to put that tag on there. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh, man. That's awful. I saw some pictures, but it was more like under the microscope pictures. It wasn't like somebody's butthole.
Well, and how do you let it get to that point? Like, obviously you've had some sort of like, if there's that many in there, like maybe he took something to like get them out, and then the doctor's like, oh, this is rad, and like took a photo.
They're like, can you just prop your butthole up a little bit? Just tilt your pelvis. Thank you. I'm gonna take this picture. I'm gonna make sure I get your balls in there too. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be real flattering. Don't worry, I won't get your face at all.
Yeah. Should I say cheese? Oh, we won't see your face, but thanks.
No. Oh God. Yeah. I'm really glad I didn't see that picture. The reason I said it's pinworms because I just read about them and how they can sneak out of your anus at night.
Oh my God.
They lay eggs around a host's anus. I hate that word so much. Ugh. I'm just going to say butthole because that is actually more preferable than saying anus. Ugh. So it leads to an itching sensation, which creates a vicious cycle if your fingers come in contact with your mouth. So it's just, okay. It's just so gross.
But pinworms are like mostly transferred by dirty little kids.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So they're found worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's the bane of many North American elementary schools, as infections often begin through human contact or through recently used surfaces like toilet seats, faucets, and doorknobs. Oh my God. I'm just so fucking paranoid now. I'm not a germaphobe by any means. I'm a fucking pinwormophobe.
Oh, no. That one was the scariest one because, well, I thought the name was funny. Like the scientific name is enterobiasis. It's like enters by your asses.
You know the like
it's
the
like
scientist.
A science joke. Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna name it this.
Oh my God. But
Jesus.
I remember my aunt who was a nurse, like when I was a kid, telling us about these, and she didn't tell us like what they were called, but she's like, yeah, you can tell if your kids have them because you go in their room at night and you shine a flashlight on their butt and you might be able to see.
Oh, gross.
You can see it come out at night.
Yes. It's so creepy. It's like they're bats coming out of a cave or something. I don't know.
Like
it's so
some
gross.
Little night criminal it puts on its little face mask and it's like
Jesus Christ. Like there's literally I can talk about a lot of things and not feel squeamish. This is like one thing that I'm glad we're getting it out of the way early on in our podcasting career because
so we can get grosser.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you've dealt with shitting in a bag, so you can deal with anything. So actually, I think I'm just squeamish because it's just like it seems like it's actually pretty easy to get a parasitic worm in your system.
Yeah.
Like there's so pinworms you can like literally get them from like toilet seats, faucets, whatever, if somebody is infected with them.
Yeah.
And the worst symptoms from those type of worms include itchiness, irritability, and weight loss. Like, cool, weight loss is better than, anything, but you're still having these fuckers crawl out of your butthole at night. Like,
yeah.
Nobody wants that.
And you're irritable because you can't sleep because your butthole's itchy every night when you're trying to go to bed because the mom comes out.
Ugh. Fuck. All right. I got to get off of that one.
Wait, there's another way, like not just the flashlight, but did you see the other way to test if you have it?
No.
It's called the tape test.
Oh yeah, no, I did see that. I did that. You put tape on your butthole.
It's like a fingerprint. Do you think everyone's
like
is different?
A Biore pore strip?
Oh my God. I'm like, I kind of want to see what my butthole fingerprint looks like. Is it unique?
Oh, did you get a picture of yours from your colonoscopy? I did.
No. I don't think I don't think I thought to ask for it.
Well, they just gave mine to me.
Oh,
and
that's
they
nice.
also showed DJ while I was like still out. They're like, "Here's your wife's butthole," and he's like, "Oh my God!" And the doctor's like, "She has medium hemorrhoids, so that's totally normal." And I'm like, "What? I don't want medium. Can I have like extra small? Like, I don't want that."
You have dainty light hemorrhoids.
Or how about none? Apparently everybody like has them, and they just I don't know. It was just like. Thanks so much for, I mean, he doesn't care. He's seen everything. Like, we're married, so we're not gross in front of each other, but like on purpose, like,
yeah,
we're very respectful of our, as much as we can be, of like bodily functions, but like, fuck, dude, like, that's don't show my husband a picture of my butthole. Like, that's not, he wasn't ready for that. Poor sweet angel. This pristine, like my pristine image of me in his mind is now all he's gonna see is my butthole now.
You should have been like, "That's not mine. I think you have mine mixed up with someone else's completely hairless, bleached
rosebud." Yeah,
yeah, that's mine. That's mine. This one is no.
These are. I don't have medium hemorrhoid, but it's just like he's seen everything before, but it's like not that close and not that detailed.
Yeah,
of a picture.
Well, you shouldn't share everything.
Exactly. Anyway, that's a lot.
We've covered so much already.
I've literally told everybody these stories, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's so many species, so many flavors of parasitic worms, but there's 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 over 300,000 species of parasites that can affect that are existing. They think.
My God.
They don't even know actually technically how many there are because it's kind of a umbrella term for a parasite, but there are over 300 affecting humans alone. So that's something to keep you up at night. 10 signs you may have a parasite. You have unexplained constipation, diarrhea, gas, or other symptoms of IBS, which is totally fair.
Yep.
You traveled internationally and remember getting traveler's diarrhea while abroad. You have a history.
Traveler's diarrhea.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
As if you have enough, good memories. You're like, oh yeah, I had diarrhea also. I wonder if I brought back a parasite with me. It's like, you don't want that.
No.
Oof. You have a history of food poisoning and your digestion has not been the same since. That sucks if you have a history of food poisoning and not just like, I've only really had food poisoning once in my life. And it was the fucking worst thing ever. I was literally, have you ever had food poisoning?
I don't think so.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're literally, you cannot stop vomiting and shitting at the same time.
Oh my God.
Well, first it starts as vomiting because that's like your upper like digestive like system is like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And then so you're puking. And then you can't sleep because you're literally constantly puking.
Oh.
And then you start shitting. And then you start doing both at the same time. And it's awful. And like you don't even have anything left in you. And it's just like you're just dry heaving. It's so awful. Don't ever get it.
No.
I don't recommend it. I would wish it on somebody who fucking sucks. Because it's bad, but it's not like that bad.
Oh, like when people say I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, you're like, no, that's
I would.
Yeah, that's not that bad. I would.
Yeah, I would. I lived through it, but obviously you can get it so bad that you actually have to go to the hospital. So
yeah, well, you're
I don't
dehydrated.
want it to be that bad. That's another thing. Like when you're puking and stuff, like you don't want anything really in your system. Because you will just continue to keep vomiting. So you can only take very small sips of water or eat just like ice chips.
Yeah.
So
which isn't food.
Not food, not really water. So yeah, got to be careful if you do get food poisoning. Stay hydrated somehow. Let's see. Oh, you have trouble falling asleep or you wake up multiple times during the night because fucking literally worms are crawling out of your butthole. You get skin irritations or unexplained rashes, hives, rosacea, or eczema. You grind your teeth in your sleep. You have pain or aching in your muscles or joints. You experience fatigue, exhaustion, depression, or frequent feelings of apathy. Ugh. And that's like me every day. You never feel satisfied or full after meals. You've been diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia. That sounds terrible. Like it's all bad. It's all really shitty. So if you feel like you're struggling and you're not sure what's going on, just go to the goddamn doctor. You might have a parasite.
I know, but those symptoms are like not ones that I feel like people go to the doctor for. Like,
Right. They're really benign in a lot of ways. And there's things you can deal with.
Yeah. Which is why so many people are infected at any given time. Because it's like, well, I don't like, that just might be what I ate, or like, oh, I'm just like not feeling great again. But it's like, oh no, you don't, but you're not feeling great every day.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, like, don't be like, you don't diagnose yourself, like, don't be like, oh, I definitely have a parasite. Like, that's what doctors are for. That's what stool samples are for. That's what, like, just take care of yourself. It's like it's fine if you do have something wrong with you. That's what the doctor is there for, to help you get better, and you're going to be okay. So how do you get a parasite? You can get them from drinking gross water, undercooked pork. We're not a big pork household. Not because we're Jewish, but just because, like, I think it is actually a holdover from DJ's upbringing, you know, his mom keeps kosher, and like we're pretty like pescatarian.
Yeah.
But like yeah, pork just like this is just not a common food item in our house except for bacon. That's it.
Yeah. Same. I don't think we don't eat much pork.
Yeah, like we're not pork chopping. We're not doing like, yeah.
I guess we make like pork shoulder in like in like our Instant Pot or whatever.
Ooh, you have an Instant Pot?
It's so good.
Oh,
it's amazing.
I have a pressure cooker and a slow cooker. I feel like I just want to get rid of all of them and get an Instant Pot.
That's what we did.
All right. Oh, you can even get a parasitic worm from walking around barefoot. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
That freaks me out more than anything.
Is it like from being barefoot and stepping in shit? Because I've done that.
Like, oh God,
yeah,
it's like the worst ever. Yeah, I mean, if there is it's hookworms that you can get from walking around barefoot. I think they like literally will get like burrow into your skin and get in your bloodstream.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ugh. Do they like hook on? Like why? Or that just is their name?
I think so, but I think that let me look at my notes here. Hookworms, like they literally like lay in the soil and they like lay traps in there, and so
ew.
And it's yeah, hookworms are much smaller than tapeworms. They're rarely more than a centimeter long, and they burrow into your small intestine to feast on your blood. So this is like why if you're anemic, like this could be a reason. You might have a hookworm like literally sucking your blood from the inside. Fuck. Yeah, it can lead to anemia, slower cognitive growth, and malnutrition. Hookworms actually are very widespread. They infect over 1 billion people worldwide. And the vast majority of these people live without advanced sanitation in subtropic or tropical climates. So it's just they're very devious. They're very it's more because they're like laying in the soil, like waiting for some host to like stroll by. Ugh. And like yeah, it's pretty gross. So yeah, that's those are like probably the most common ones that are found in humans are hookworms, roundworms, pinworms, and of course there's tons of different ones, but I think those are the more common ones that are found in humans.
Tapeworms.
Tapeworms are the ones that are people like think of when you're they're like can get really long. They can grow really long. I think there's like urban legends about them like being like literally like as long as your intestines or something like that, which I don't know. I don't think that's real, but I think they can grow up to like 21 feet or something like that. So that's like that's pretty real. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Let's see. I did read a really interesting article in the New York Times about how people are using parasites to help with like IBS and other types of gastrointestinal issues, like Crohn's disease and stuff like that. Because because we've gotten so good at sanitizing things and are getting rid of parasites and regulating things, we have sanitized our guts like really well. And so that kind of, if anything is introduced that's like bacteria or an actual parasite, our body goes into overdrive and our immune system freaks the fuck out, tries to correct whatever is going on, and that is what leads to like IBS and stuff. So if you actually introduce, it's kind of, there's a lot of in the weeds stuff on this, but like basically if you introduce a parasitic worm to somebody's digestive system, it can kind of counteract the, like, and all this has to be controlled. There's not a lot of, there's some science, but not a lot of, like, there's just like this one crazy guy who's out there. I think they've obviously like gone through a lot more iterations of this, but this guy has just lived with like really bad intestinal issues for a long time, and he's like, I need to do something about it. And so this is his, like, he wants to do this parasitic worm thing, and it's just kind of creepy. It's called reparasiting, I guess.
Ew.
Yeah.
What kind do you use? Just a tapeworm? No,
the worm or the helminth that they're using is called the pig whipworm. This species in theory can't reach sexual maturity in humans, and it can't spread from one person to another, so it's like really self-contained, and then I think it just dies. It can't like multiply in your body, and so I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, but I don't know about that. Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah. That's an interesting article. That's a New York Times article. Can post it somewhere. I don't know where. Anyway, the thing that really freaked me out reading about all this was how some worms can end up in your brain.
Yeah.
They can travel from your intestines through your bloodstream to your brain. And that causes a disease known as cysticercosis. I don't know. Fuck. But it basically makes cysts on people's brains, and it's really gnarly. Can cause complications like seizures, blockage of cerebrospinal fluid, which causes hydrocephalus, and can cause coma or death. So that's pretty real.
There's like some real downer ones.
Yeah, like, real downer.
Some of the ones we've talked about, most people, I mean, you don't even really have symptoms sometimes, and like people don't even know they have them, and you could like live a normal life.
Yeah.
With like frequent diarrhea and like an uncomfortable but normal life. But like some of them, like, I mean, that's how people get, I always called it elephantitis, but I don't think that's how you say it. It's elephantiasis, but like it's through a parasitic worm that goes into your lymph nodes.
Oh wow!
And like from a mosquito bite. And in 2015, 40 million people in Asia and Africa were disfigured or incapacitated by it. And it's like, Jesus. That's like real. And it's like a tropical disease type thing, you know. It's like
just like with Zika, how it causes microcephaly in babies and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's like kind of the same. Well, not, I don't know all the science behind that, but yeah.
But there's like real serious stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's sad.
Yeah, I kind of got freaked out a lot and started Googling then, like, because like I've always I have 2 cats, so I've always been like freaked out by like cat litter and shit. Like, you know how you're not supposed to like empty cat boxes when you're pregnant because you can get there's like a parasite you could get apparently. I don't know, it's not a parasitic worm, but it's like it is a parasite, and it can cause, I forget the name of it, and I don't have my notes pulled up on it, but basically it gives you like a rage, like it gives you like this, yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's like you rage the fuck out, and it's because of this creepy ass parasite, but it's not a worm, so I won't talk about it more. But I was like trying to figure out, when I was like learning about like the brain worm situation, I was like, is that the same? Are my cats gonna kill me through their litter? But no. They're very clean. They don't go outside. they're strictly indoor cats, and fucking I dump their litter box every single day because they're disgusting and I can't stand it. So it's a very clean situation.
That's good. Plus, cat boxes smell, so you have to keep them empty.
Exactly, and I do.
Yeah,
I have a litter genie and everything. It's like a diaper genie, but for cat shit.
For your cat children.
Yeah. I'm opening my beer now.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I looked at I looked at some fun facts, I guess, around some of these gross things, which they're not fun facts, they're horrifying. Yeah. But I saw that that picture with the guy with the roundworms coming out of his butthole. And there was a picture because, okay, best case scenario for roundworms, you know, they work their way out through your poop and you just like don't even know you had it. It just kind of lives its life and then you poop it out. But then worst case scenario is there's so many in there, like you ingest so many eggs and they all hatch that they work their way out through your nose and mouth. And there was a picture. I did not look at it. But
oh my God.
They just like find a way out, which was really gross. Yeah, and then like the tapeworm is pretty like I feel like that's the one that we get the most in the US from like pork, beef, and fish being undercooked, and there's just like different strains of them. Even though we have, you know, rules and regulations, sometimes they just get through, and it basically just like moves into your intestine, and then it has to eat the host's like pre-digested food. So it just like lives off your food that you already ate.
And that's why you always feel full.
Yeah.
Or not never full, sorry.
Or both. Like you might not be hungry if it's like a really big one or whatever. But there was a guy in India this year, like just earlier in January, and like he was complaining of abdominal pain, and so like they did a colonoscopy and an endoscopy and a stool sample and everything. They couldn't find anything with the colonoscopy or the stool sample, but then when they went in through the endoscopy, they found a tapeworm all like spiraled up, like it was all just like hunkered down in his small intestine, like the top.
It was like, don't look at me.
Yeah, I'm just hiding in here. You found me. Good job. But so they removed it through surgery, and it was fucking 6.6 feet long.
Oh my God.
And that's not even the longest. The longest recorded tapeworm in history was 82 feet.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's so gross. And it's just like kicking in there. And
it's God.
I know that I was like having a really hard time yesterday. Like I was just like, oh my God, there's like something in there. But I don't think I had a tapeworm, because I feel like the doctors would have told me like, oh, we found this real long thing in there, but I don't know what it was. I probably should have like paid attention. They were just like, well, you're good. Here's some antibiotics. And I was like, okay, thank you. Bye.
You're like, I don't want to fucking know.
Yeah. I never want to come here again.
It's in a jar. Do you want it?
Yeah. We've preserved it in formaldehyde. You can name it if you'd like.
I mean, some people would be stoked on that and would be into it.
Yeah.
I am not that person, but you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah. That's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there's also with the tapeworm, there's like been like a fad diet. Like there's been some examples in the news and stuff with like there was a woman from Iowa that like ordered it and then had all these complications because you get really malnourished.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, if you're not being supervised by a doctor, maybe like that with like the people with Crohn's disease or whatever, where they're like testing parasitic worms.
those people are very highly, like the New York Times article I was talking about, that guy is like has a team of doctors who are like monitoring him, and they're like he's doing it in a way that's pretty like crazy, but it's also like he's doing it in a scientific and measured way, and it's not like I'm gonna pop this pill full of fucking, I think I just want to lose weight, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bus driver science.
Oh wait, should we do the update after we talk about all this? Okay,
well, we could just say it now, which is that Larry,
in our last
the bus
episode,
driver.
Yeah. In our last episode, we were making fun of Larry, the bus driver, who thought he discovered a new like photon or whatever. a new atom of some sort, a subatomic particle. That's, oh God, I can't even. I have 2 sips of beer and I don't know what the fuck my name is. Yeah, so Larry.
Yeah, that was him. It was true. Like, I made the comment, I think he was a bus driver, but he really was. And he went to school for like like
chemical engineering, I think.
Oh, okay. So,
but he got his undergrad in chemical enginening.
He had like a basis of, some sort of knowledge, but still, like, it's not like he's like operating as some sort of science person in his daily
he doesn't have a PhD. He doesn't have. Yeah. He's a self-proclaimed. I called him a self-proclaimed bus driver last episode. He's a self-proclaimed expert on spontaneous human combustion.
Yeah, he is a bus driver.
He is a bus driver.
He might be retired. Yeah.
Oh, but I read his bio. He was a guest on Coast to Coast, which is a totally crazy radio show.
Oh.
It's pretty great in a lot of ways, but it's also just like insane, like conspiracy theories and stuff. But yeah, his bio on Coast to Coast is pretty funny. I think we were making fun of him and saying he wrote it himself because it's like very complimentary. It's pretty good. Oh, Larry, please don't ever listen to this.
And he had a mullet.
Oh, and he wrote that book too, right?
Yeah,
that was the other thing.
Oh,
what was it called?
That's how I knew it was him. Or, okay. Yeah, he wrote Ablaze.
Ablaze.
Exclamation point.
Ablaze.
Ablaze. Yeah, I think going back to the tapeworm diet, some fucking mom in Florida, of course.
Florida
mom, the worst. Had a daughter and like took her to the doctor because she was complaining that her stomach was all, like bothering her. And they did a x-ray and they saw there was some blockage. So they gave her like a stool softener or something. And then she went to the bathroom and started screaming. And the nurse went in there. And there's an episode of Untold Stories of the ER that features this nurse. Her name's
I fucking love that show.
Yeah. This one's older. It's from like 2014 or so, but, her name was, Maricar Cabral Osorio. And she went in to like help the daughter, and she looked in the toilet and there were fucking tapeworms all in her poo. Some were even alive and trying to like wiggle their way out of the toilet bowl.
Oh God,
it was like a nightmare. Anyway, the mom felt really bad, which she should because she's an asshole. And but turns out her daughter was like some fucking pageant baby, and she thought her daughter was fat, so she got a pill from Mexico that was like featured the tapeworm diet, like the Iowa lady. And Jesus bus driver scienced her daughter's
diet.
Intestins,
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's just
ew,
fucked up.
What a bitch.
Yeah, she's just a horrible parent.
Ugh.
But yeah, so I feel like that tapeworms are like pretty common. I think there's like 20 million people worldwide are infected. It just moves into your intestines and eventually it dies and you poop it out. But yeah, it's pretty gross. I think I did want to talk about I mean, I kind of got off track and I looked beyond. I tried to find ones that weren't just intestinal to see if that's even a thing. And there was one I thought was so interesting, and it's called the guinea worm. I don't know if you came across this, but it's not intestinal. And
I think I've heard of this, but I didn't do more research on it.
Its scientific name is okay.
Oh my God.
It's Dracunculiasis. Like Dracula.
Is it sucks your blood? Obviously.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Because that's why it's Dracula.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is what it does, I guess. I mean, I guess it kind of sucks on your blood, but it's like a weird, fucked up thing, but it's also like cool science. Like this is, you were saying like the hookworms are like little fuckers that like they're like angry and they like
They're,
wait
like,
for
insidious.
you.
Yeah.
This one's kind of like that too. So it's not like huge anymore. It went from 3.5 million cases in 1986 to just 22 in 2015. And it went from 20 countries in 1986 to just 4, and they're mostly in Africa. But they've done a good job at like fixing this because their water they're like transmitted via water flea, and you ingest them. So like the water fleas like are in your water and you drink it. But it's just a good example of like how cool science can be and fucked up at the same time. So you ingest the water flies and it's the larva, and then the worm like finds its way into an extremity, either your foot or your arm, usually like a lower extremity. Yeah. And then the female grows up to 3 feet long, but then she wants to get out because it's like time for her to like continue her nature and, you know, like, I guess infect others. So she starts to burrow right under the surface of the skin, and she makes like a really big painful blister. And then as a human, you feel the like a burning sensation. So your instinct is to put it in water. And when you submerge it in water, the blister explodes and like bajillions of little larvae come out. And they like go onto the surface of the water, and then the water fleas come and eat the larva, and then the cycle continues because then you drink the water flea. But I thought that was like really fun and horrifying. And
that's like about that's like the I think it's either crickets or grasshoppers that get infected with this one
the horsehair worm.
The horsehair worm. And they avoid water at all costs, like in just from a fucking safety perspective, because they don't want to be near the water. But they basically, the horsehair or horsetail worm zombifies them, and it like takes over their brain. And it's like the same thing you're saying, like you want to put like you want to like put your arm in like some water or whatever to like get rid of the blister. The cricket or the grasshopper or whatever jumps in the water,
drowns itself.
Like they drown it. Yeah, they drown themselves. They go against all of their natural instincts and go to water, and then the fucking horsehair worm like explodes out of it, and it's so creepy.
Out of its butthole.
Yeah,
it leaves through the back door.
And
and then it finds a mate in the water, and then they starts all over.
So gross.
Yeah,
it's fucked up.
But yeah,
I don't really have much more because it's all just so gross, and I like got to a point where I was like, I just can't read about this anymore.
Yeah, no, that's about what I had too. The horsehair worm was my last thing, but I was like, I don't need to. That one was so different.
I'm glad
I'm glad you read about that one too, because it was so cool, and it's like, it makes the host kill itself. It's so weird.
It's really wild. It's creepy, and it's fucked up, and that's parasitic worms. I
feel like maybe we ended or I don't know when, but I don't know. But I would like to say wash your hands. Because a lot of these ones, especially like the gross pinworms that little dirty kids carry around under their fingernails from scratching their butts, like, just give your hands a good scrub, soap and water. 20 seconds? What is I don't know.
Yeah.
But, do a good job of keeping clean, and
don't touch your butthole.
Yeah. And if you do, wash your hands.
Yeah. This is why when you go to the bathroom in a restaurant or whatever, there's always a placard up saying employees must wash their hands because they're touching your food. And after they go to the bathroom, like, this is basic. This is like life 101. Like, this is why. Because you could get fucking parasitic worms that come out of your butthole. Do you want that? No, nobody wants that.
I don't even want my hand anywhere near my butthole without washing it. I feel like I just want it to be clean. So
yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
It's
just
so
wash
weird.
your hands.
I just want to be clean.
Yeah.
Oh God, our next topic is
it's gonna be good.
Of clean.
Well, this is too, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Well,
yeah.
I'm thoroughly grossed out.
Me too.
I might take another shower.
I'm definitely gonna. I wish I had a fire hose so I could clean my butthole with it.
I have a bidet. You can get them on Amazon for like $25.
Oh, really?
Highly recommend. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just like pop it on there.
On the toilet?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
You get the water connector and it connects to it and stuff.
Amazing. I'll have to look into that.
It's pretty cool. I put it on myself. I am a kind of a handy person. I'm not gonna. I'm trying to brag, but
oh my god, you're so handy. You have the
so
cleanest
handy.
butthole.
I do. I'm fancy. I have a bidet.
Your hemorrhoids are so tiny and perfect.
My hemorrhoid. Yeah, I made sure they were like totally extra small now.
Oh my god, I went on a tapeworm diet so that my hemorrhoids would be really thin and hot.
Yeah, they're so tight.
Okay. Well,
that's
anyway,
enough of that.
hope everyone enjoyed this one.
If you stop listening and never want to listen again, totally understand. Hi, Mom. Our moms are probably going to be the only ones that listen to this.
Especially like to this
and then
episode.
Now they won't.
It's so gross.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We should put an extra explicit warning on this episode.
If you don't like the word butthole, you'll hate this episode. Warning, butthole. That's it.
Yep.
All right.
That's it.
Well,
all right.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening to Dude, That's Fucked Up.
Bye.
Bye.